Press play and let the story begin. Welcome to Velvety Vibe. Anyone else? He cut in. Yalda answered as neutrally as she could. Yes, a woman named Mitra. She said for you to call her back. For the briefest moment, Shahab's nostrils flared. His face tightened, serious and angry. Without another word, he stood and left the room for his own. After that night, when Yalda decided to change the atmosphere of the house, she threw herself into the task. Ever since she had seen the engagement necklace around Shahab's neck, a strange excitement had filled her, as if a holiday were just around the corner. She began a cleaning spree like no other, turning the entire apartment upside down. For a whole week, she scrubbed, polished, rearranged, and redecorated. Even Shahab's room. She bought what was needed for the kitchen and took care of 1,000 little details. Every day she picked up fresh roses and placed them in a vase. Slowly, she grew fond of the apartment, learning exactly where everything belonged. She barely saw Shahab, and when they did cross paths, they passed each other in silence, exchanging nothing more than a mumbled greeting. At night, Yalda sometimes wished Shahab would come home early, just once, so she could see surprise or even a flicker of wonder in his striking eyes when he noticed all the changes. But every time he brushed past her indifferently, murmuring his hello under his breath, she felt her heart splinter into pieces. Still, she kept telling herself, tomorrow will be different. Tomorrow he'll notice. But Shahab remained cold, drifting in and out of the house like a chill autumn wind. One evening, Yalda wrote in her notebook, "Like a whirlwind of dust and sand, you came upon me. I was the last dry leaf on a barren tree, and you twisted me so tight I couldn't even struggle. I tell myself this whirlwind is nothing but a gentle breeze on my loneliness. But no, you are still that storm of dust, and I am just one fragile leaf of a dream. Yalda." She cooked with care and elegance. The scent of her food spread through Shahab's freshly revived apartment, which now gleamed like polished silver. The fragrance of life and love lingered in every corner, intoxicating anyone who stepped inside. The house was filled with greenery, coleus, ivy, geraniums. Fresh flowers brightened the rooms each day. Every morning, Yalda opened her window to the world outside with hope and dreams. Every night, she closed it again, heavy with sorrow, but still clinging to tomorrow. By the middle of the second month living with Shahab, she thought to herself, see, it wasn't so hard after all. She was getting used to ending her university days by returning to Shahab's apartment. In a way, it had become her home. The loneliness she had felt before was gone. Now she even cherished the independence, the small freedoms she discovered. A rosy glow seemed to light up her face, making her even more beautiful. Friends at university told her she had changed lately. Yalda herself felt it too, though she couldn't explain why. It was as if she carried a sweet sorrow inside her, one that sometimes gave her joy and sometimes dragged her into melancholy. That day, her last class ended at 3. She was exhausted and irritable. Farnaz leaned over and said, "Yalda, Sasan's picking me up today. Want a ride?" "No, thanks. I might stop by across from Tehran University to buy Kagani's book." "Why not tomorrow?" Farnaz asked. "No, tomorrow will be too late." Nargis chimed in. "Let her go today. She's got a mountain of notes to copy into that book." Yalda's heart skipped a beat. Nargis was right. She had been putting it off too long, and now she was falling behind. She decided she had to buy it that day. They said their goodbyes, and when class ended, Yalda set off alone. It was late November, and the air was cold. At the gates of the university, she pulled up the collar of her red sweater, trying to hide her nose and lips in the warmth. Just then, a voice called from behind. "Miss Yari!" Yalda turned and saw Sohail. Tall, fair-skinned, with light hair and sharp features. He looked almost European. Miss Yalda. She was too weary to muster much of a reaction. She simply stared at him with dull eyes, not even asking what he wanted. Sohail, looking nervous, bent forward slightly in greeting. "Hello, how are you?" he asked awkwardly. Yalda just nodded, barely acknowledging him. "I hope I'm not bothering you," he stammered. "I saw you were alone, and I thought maybe I could walk with you." Yalda answered quickly. "Actually, I'm in a real hurry. I need to get to the bookstore before they close. So if you have something to say, please make it quick. Thanks." Sohail gave her an awkward smile. "Oh, what a coincidence. I have to stop by the bookstore too. If you don't mind, maybe I could walk with you?" Yalda's reply was cold and sharp. "Why? So I can keep you company?" "Honestly, I just wanted to talk about Mr. Mohammadi. Look, I'm really in a rush. And besides, I don't think it's proper for us to walk together. Find another time to say whatever it is. Sorry, but I have to go now. Goodbye." She didn't wait for his response and dashed off to catch her bus. To her, Sohail was the persistent type, never discouraged, even when she brushed him off harshly. Tomorrow, he'd no doubt invent another excuse to talk. Yalda thought bitterly. He's just like me with Shahaab. I don't get tired of his coldness either, though it's not like I have any real feelings for him. Minutes later, she stepped off the bus, crossed the street, and reached the bookstores. It was one of her favorite places. She could have stood at the shop windows for hours, gazing at each book one by one. But today, the only thing that mattered was finding her textbook. She tried several stores with no luck. Remembering Nargis's advice, she headed toward the book bazaar. The sky was gray, the air growing colder by the minute. Students bustled about in groups, but Yalda wandered, lost in her thoughts, sometimes even forgetting the name of the book she wanted, Kagani's selected works. As she approached the bazaar, her breath caught in her throat. Her eyes froze on a figure ahead, and her heart pounded so violently she thought her chest might split open. For a moment, she didn't know where she was. It was Shahaab. She couldn't be mistaken. He wasn't alone. Kambiz was with him, along with a few others. Her body trembled. If only Shahaab hadn't seen her, she could have hidden. But he had. Their eyes met instantly, as though it was the first time they'd ever truly seen each other. The book slipped from her mind. The closer they drew, the more anxious she became. "This is your chance," she told herself. "Prove to him he means nothing." She forced indifference, walking past them as if they were strangers. Shahab's gaze clung to her until the last second, but Yalda didn't falter. She found herself suddenly inside the bazaar, her heart racing. She barely knew how she had gotten there. Where is he now, she wondered, aching to glance back, but her inner voice urged her to stay in control. Inside a shop, she leaned on the counter, breathless. "Excuse me, I need a textbook," she said. "Which one?" asked the shopkeeper. "Kagani, a selected edition." "Ah, yes. Let me check. I think we're out." "That's fine." She wandered between the shelves, calming little by little. A faint smile touched her lips, one she wasn't even aware of. She could still hear the thudding of her heartbeat. From the stacks, the shopkeeper called, "Sorry, miss, sold out. Try again this weekend." "Thank you. Goodbye." A voice came from behind her. "What are you looking for?" Yalda spun around. The sight of Shahaab drained the blood from her face. She nearly collapsed. "Hi," she stammered. He glanced around, then back at her. "Hi, what are you doing here? What are you looking for?" "I came to buy a book." "Which one?" "Kagani's selected works." "Before it gets dark, go home. I'll buy it for you." Before Yalda could reply, Kambi stepped into the shop with a grin. "Well, hello, Miss Yalda." She returned the greeting politely. Haven't seen you in ages. Combis went on cheerfully. How's life treating you? The shopkeeper, clearly irritated, interrupted. Gentlemen, if you're not buying, please step aside. Shahaab cut in quickly. Thanks, we're leaving. Outside, Shahaab turned to Combis. Have the guys left? Combis winked. Yeah. Not wanting to feel like an unwanted extra, Yalda spoke up. Well, Mr. Combis, it was nice seeing you. I'll be going now. I really need to buy that book. Shahaab asked sharply. You're heading home? Right? No, I told you. I still need the book. I said I'll buy it. Yalda smirked and teased. Do you even remember the name? Caught off guard, Shahaab paused. What was it? Remind me again? Yalda laughed. That's what I thought. Fine. Check the shops in the mall, then go home, okay? Seeing how much he cared about her getting home on time sent a strange warmth through her. She didn't know why, but she liked his protectiveness. After saying goodbye to both men, she wandered into another shop. She reached for a poster, but a young man beside her snatched it first. Yalda gave him a polite, embarrassed smile and looked for another copy. But the boy held it out toward her. Take this one. Thanks, but I'll find another. Maybe they have more. He insisted, smiling too eagerly. Please, I want you to have it. Go on. Annoyed, Yalda finally took it. Fine. Thanks. The boy followed her to the counter. I'll pay for it, he offered. Yalda turned to him in disbelief. Excuse me? What you mean? Nothing. Just consider it a gift. I'll pay. Suddenly he cried out. Ow! Ow! Yalda froze. Shahaab stood behind him, twisting the boy's arm. Through clenched teeth, Shahaab growled. Who are you planning to give that gift to? Go ahead. Try it. The boy, stunned, tried to keep his voice low to avoid drawing attention. I'm sorry, sir. Is she with you? I swear I meant no harm. Shahaab released him with a muttered, Get lost. Terrified and shaken, Yalda could hardly move. Cambiz arrived, smirking. He deserved it, he whispered to her. Embarrassed, Yalda lowered her eyes. Shahaab paid for the books and the poster, then turned to her. Need anything else? No, thanks. Moments later, the three of them stepped outside. Night had fallen. I'm going home now, Yalda said. Wait, Shahaab told her, then turned to Cambiz. Kami, I'm not coming tonight. All right, Cambiz replied. I'll just tell Saeed to bring the plans tomorrow. Fine. Cambiz left them. Shahaab stood beside Yalda, no longer avoiding her gaze, no longer hostile. Serious, as always, but steady. We'll grab a cab partway, he said. Then take my car from there. Soon they were sitting in his car. The cold outside made the warmth inside even sweeter. A soft melody played on the stereo, filling the silence between them. Yalda glanced at Shahaab's strong hands on the wheel, her heart tightening. Aren't you hungry? He asked suddenly. She bit her lip and smiled. What would you like? I made gourmet sabzi last night. Ah, yes. Its smell filled the whole building. Yalda laughed. I thought you didn't like it. Why didn't you eat? I'd already had dinner, but if there's any left, I'll eat it tonight. Yalda didn't answer. She was afraid to say more, afraid to break the fragile moment. She wished she could stay in that car forever, listening to the music, lost in the dream. That night, for the first time, Shahaab ate the meal she had cooked.